খালেদ মুহিউদ্দিন স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি ডয়েচে ওয়েলে বাংলা বিভাগের নিয়মিত আয়োজন আমাদের কথামালায়। আজকে আমরা দুজন বিশেষ অতিথি রয়েছেন আমাদের সঙ্গে। আমরা কথা বলবো কাশ্মীর নিয়ে। আপনারা জানেন ভারতীয় পার্লামেন্ট কাশ্মীরের বিশেষ অধিকার বাতিল করার ফলে তা নিয়ে কথা হচ্ছে সারা পৃথিবীতে, কথা হচ্ছে আমাদের অঞ্চলে, কথা হচ্ছে ভারতে, পাকিস্তানে এবং সব জায়গাতে। আমরা তা নিয়ে কথা বলার জন্য আজকে পেয়েছি দুজন খুব সিনিয়র জার্নালিস্ট। আমার বাঁ পাশে আছেন মহেশ ঝা, যিনি ডয়েচে ওয়েলে হিন্দি বিভাগের প্রধান, ৩৫ বছর ধরে সাংবাদিকতা করছেন, বিহার উনার জন্মস্থান। তার সাথে আমরা কথা বলবো। আমাদের সাথে শাহজিব জিলানি আছেন, তিনি এসছেন পাকিস্তান থেকে, উর্দু, তিনিও অনেক অভিজ্ঞ সাংবাদিক, 25 বছর ধরে পেশায় আছেন, লাইন অফ কন্ট্রোলে সাংবাদিকতা করেছেন, বহু বছর বিবিসির জন্য ডয়েচে ওয়েলেতে সদ্য যোগ দিয়েছেন। আমি প্রশ্নগুলি উনাদের ইংরেজিতে করব, উনারাও ইংরেজিতেই জবাব দেবেন, আমি কিছুটা বাংলায় হয়তো আবার পরে বলতে চেষ্টা করব। আপনাদের দুজনকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি, মিস্টার জিলানি অ্যান্ড মিস্টার ঝা। ইউ আর ওয়েলকাম টু আওয়ার ডয়েচে ওয়েলে বাংলা ডিপার্টমেন্টস রেগুলার discussion program. So, Mr. Jha, can I ask, if I say it's like the deleting, if I not say scrapping, deleting the special status of Kashmir under Article 370 was a primary promise of BJP government before this election. So, deleting the status or whatever, do you consider it is as the will of Indian people?
First, I'll say that was the will of BJP. We must remember
but BJP
that
wins.
I'll come to that.
Okay.
But BJP's prior party was Jansan.
Okay.
And after the independence of India, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was one of the minister. He was member of Congress. He was one of the minister with Jawaharlal Nehru. But there were differences with Nehru, and so he resigned. And then he formed Jansangh. He was the mother party of BJP. He formed Jansangh, and from that time, basically Jansangh and BJP were opposing the structure in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. They wanted Jammu Kashmir as a state, any other state, similar to that. No two citizenship, two flags. They wanted clarity.
Yeah.
And now, after winning the election,
Right.
BJP can claim that they have support of the people of India also. This support they did not have 70 years ago. Today they can claim that.
Yes, they have this support and people actually voted for them. Knowing it very clearly that BJP can or could repeal the status. So Indian government, my question was, Indian people actually support the process. It's Indian people's will. Kashmir won't have any status there, only any special status.
Yeah, you can say that because these people, they think that Kashmir's problem lies in this special status.
Okay.
And this problem is going on since 89.
Okay.
And you will have to see also emotional question there.
Okay.
Emotional question is almost 300 to 14 lakh to 6 lakh people, Hindus, were living in the valley.
Yes.
And they, once the movement started there, they were forced to leave the area. So now there are 2,000, 3,000 Kashmiri Hindus in the valley.
Yeah.
They are mostly concentrated in Jammu, which has got around 53 or 54 lakhs of population.
Okay.
They are in Jammu. And in the valley, mostly Muslim population is there, 69 lakhs of people are living there.
Whatever the reason is, so you want to say, or if I clarify it, if you want to say the special status of Kashmir should be repealed, should be taken away.
My position is
Indian people's will wise, that is all right with the BJP government.
You can explain like that. The question is whether this should have been done this way.
Okay.
Because in a democratic country, I would expect that democratic processes are done. People are asked. Their consent should be taken. It should not happen like that as it has happened.
Okay, I understand it. I come to you, Mr. Jilani, Pakistan actually condemns Indian decision of, I don't know what should I say, suspending, repealing or diluting the status of Kashmir. Why is that? I mean, it's like, why did Pakistan support the special status to Kashmir beforehand, so they are now against it? I mean, what's good in that? I mean, having that status, what's good to the Kashmiri people? It's neither independence nor automation nor, I mean, as the Pakistani side claims. So what's good in that? Why Pakistan is condemning that? I mean,
Okay, so Kashmir has been a disputed territory between the two countries. India and Pakistan have fought wars over this territory. And by revoking Article 370, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has essentially fundamentally changed how the two countries will engage, because now India will say we no longer consider it a disputed territory. Forget about the Simla Accord, which the two countries signed in 1973. And 72. And subsequent engagements were on those bases that, look, there's an issue between the two countries, but we will talk bilaterally to resolve it. Now India is saying that line of control is effectively the de facto border. We will not be discussing Kashmir because it is now part of a union territory.
but can I ask, did India actually discuss anything with Pakistan about Kashmir, about any sort of decision, when to deploy army, when to pull it over or whatever? I mean,
No, I mean, not under Modi, but in the past, if you look at, like I
any
said,
effective discussion?
you look at Lahore Declaration, you look at Simla Accord. The two sides recognize that this is an issue, an unsolved issue from the time of partition, and we will resolve it through negotiations. Now, in '89, obviously the Afghan war was going on. Pakistan started supporting the militants in Kashmir, and there was this rebellion. And ever since, there has been Kashmir has been under a military Indian army rule. They call it occupation, and trouble has been brewing, and entire generations have been brought up in that setup. And by doing this, what the Modi government has done, it has fundamentally changed the scenario. And now Pakistani government has to decide how will they deal with it, because only 2 weeks ago, President Trump was saying, I'm happy to mediate between India and Pakistan on the issue of Kashmir, right? Now India is saying, well, it's part of our territory.
I mean, my understanding is, I might be wrong, but my understanding is about Kashmir or the Jammu, Kashmir and the area. India's decision doesn't actually depend on whatever the other parts of the world or whatever, whoever actually thinks. So why Mr. Modi would be blamed that he did it? Because, I mean, if you go through, yes, it's you should say it starts at 89, it's in 89.
The last wave of rebellion started in about 89.
In about 89,
And it's been going on since then.
But beforehand, there was a war in mid 60s, there was a war in mid 40s, there was huge tension in
Yeah.
mid 50s. So why Modi would be blamed? And as Mr. Jha said, it's the will of peoples of India. So I mean, what's
Well, he said it absolutely right. It is the will of the Modi supporters and people who voted for Modi.
Modi supporters are
Right.
India now. I mean,
But when you are trying to change the constitutional status of a region, you also have to consult them. And the manner in which the Modi government has moved in secrecy, essentially bulldozing it through the parliament, it raises questions. Putting Kashmir under a curfew for last 1 week.
Can any Pakistani can say anything about bulldozing the constitution? Because constitution is something that anybody who is in power can bulldozing any time. I mean, by Pakistani experience, of course.
Well, in Pakistan, we haven't had much democracy, so people have been
India has
fighting for
India has
democracy.
democracy of their style. I mean,
Their style. But the criticism that I am making is not my criticism. It's coming from within India, from the opposition, from human rights activists. You look at Amnesty International. you look at any standard of how democratically decisions are made, whether they are controversial or
but inside or outside India, do you really think India is being hugely criticized for this move? Did you see any effective statement from European Union or England or United States of America?
No, you're
I
right.
didn't say that.
I mean, when it comes to Kashmir and India's treatment of Kashmir, essentially its might is right. And because of India's size and economic interest of Western countries, they think, we don't really need to worry about Kashmir. The only time they worry about Kashmir is when the two nuclear-armed countries are going to war over Kashmir. As long as there's no war, India can do whatever it likes in Kashmir.
But
Do you agree with that?
but
Do you
now
agree?
the problem for me is any solution of Kashmir or any other problem between India and Pakistan is only possible when both sides come together, sit together, and talk together. Because structures are similar. We were one.
But
and
why should
even-
India? Why should India talk? Pakistan is not at par India. I mean,
military it is.
I mean,
there
India-
have been
India
there have been
shows
wars.
India shows its might. I mean, always or every time they need to.
But war is the last resort in politics. Before that, you will have to talk. If the solutions are there
will be no
by
war.
talking, then why should you fight?
There will be
but,
no war.
But
I
the
mean,
question
India will do
question here
whatever he
is
wants to do.
yeah. Question here is solution cannot be that Kashmir goes completely to Pakistan, and solution cannot be that Kashmir comes.
Was Kashmir going?
The question
Was
quest-
Kashmir going completely to
now,
Pakistan?
And we should
in this
consider
moment.
this also, that when we are talking about Kashmir, it is not only Kashmir, it is Jammu and Kashmir, which has Jammu, which has Ladakh in India, and which has Gilgit, Baltistan in Pakistan. So this is Jammu and Kashmir. And
Okay.
we are talking only about Kashmir. And Kashmir is valley, a small portion of the land inside India, and that is only 15% of Jammu and Kashmir, which is in India. Rest 85% is Jammu and Ladakh, and we are not talking about that. When India talks about Jammu and Kashmir, then they are talking also about Jammu and also about Ladakh. So, because there was no solution, they have now opted, and nobody thought that you will reduce the status of a state. Normally, union territories are mid-states.
Yeah.
This has happened for the first time
It's
that
the-
one
it's
state,
It's a double dimension.
divided and reduced because
India
there
has
was
now-
no other solution.
I mean,
the question is this a solution?
I mean, just can I? Is this a solution? That's a question. But I want to ask for my academic interest. There was a saying of or thing of giving referendum to Kashmiri people. I mean, since 1947, 1948. Why plebiscite? Why is that? I mean, plebiscite. You were right. It's not referendum. Plebiscite. I mean, why is that the Indian? What should I say? The Indian civil society or Indian people never put pressure Indian government to give them their.
Because you can't
Right.
guarantee same thing in Pakistani Kashmir. The problem is when India went to United States in 48.
Okay.
Then the resolution was that Pakistani military will withdraw and plebiscite will take place in whole area. But Pakistani military remained always, and after 70 years you can't go back to 47 or 48. So that is
The fundamental
yeah,
condition
yeah.
was demilitarization on both sides. Both
Yeah.
the armies withdraw.
No. It was Pakistan military goes back.
No,
You
both
should see that the resolution. Now
But
it
you
was
can't
not.
have a plebiscite.
No,
in
it was the
Indian
security
controlled
forces
Kashmir.
which was there because the
Yeah.
ruler at that time and the prime minister, we should remember, both remained with India. Sheikh Abdullah was prime minister at that time, and Hari Singh was king of Jammu and Kashmir, and both remained in India. They did not go to Pakistan.
Right. It's not the. I mean, it's not. It's not the matter of going to Pakistan. I mean, the question. I mean, the question is why that plebiscite did not happen.
Yeah, because the conditions were not there. That is Indian position.
I mean, that is India's position. What do you think? I mean, why Pakistan didn't pull their force off?
Well, Pakistani position has always been that both the militaries needed to withdraw. India has kept that side of Kashmir by force, and that is why the principal position is that we support the right of self-determination of the Kashmiri people. And there were times in Pakistan when Pakistan went beyond just political diplomatic support, but actively supported through armed struggle, which they saw as a justified jihad, right? After 9/11, there was a lot of pressure on Pakistan that you cannot do this. Jihad, you cannot make jihad an instrument of foreign policy, and you cannot bleed India where it hurts the most. So there was a scale back. What I fear now, what Modi has done, there are groups and there are segments in Pakistan who feel strongly about Kashmir. It's their life's mission to liberate Kashmir. What we need to see is...
May I ask one thing? I mean, you want Kashmir to be independent, liberated, or Kashmir to be included in Pakistan? I mean, if you want Kashmir to be independent or liberated or whatever, I mean, then Pakistan could pull off their soldiers or just to see. But Pakistan didn't do it once.
Yeah.
I mean, why is that?
So the nationalists in Pakistan, or the patriots in Pakistan, strongly believe that Kashmir wants to be with Pakistan. The idea of Kashmir being independent only exists in Kashmir.
So Pakistani people do not believe in Kashmir's independence. They just wanted to get it from India and put it in Pakistan's pocket. That's the thing. I mean,
So that's what the option was at the time of partition. Are you going to go with Pakistan or are you going to go with India? There was no third option at the time, right? But we are where we are today, and things have moved on over the last 72 years. I think what's more important now is that after this fundamental shift in the constitutional status of Kashmir on the Indian side, we now need to look at where is it going to go. Right? Now, some in India are saying they are jubilant, they are saying a historical mistake has been corrected. Others are calling it like Pichitambram, and others are saying this is a blunder, this is going to come to haunt you. Because if you apply this template to Kashmir, you can apply it to other parts of India where there is, where there is turmoil, where there is upheaval.
Yeah. But I think that is only political rhetoric in a democracy. Whether they are serious about that. Even P. Chidambaram is serious that Kashmir and Jammu and Kashmir should remain part of India. The question always would be, terrorism is a problem, and then we should not forget that the way Hindu population has reduced in Pakistan, the fear is there. If Jammu Kashmir goes totally to Pakistan, then what will happen to 50 lakh people, Hindus in Jammu and Buddhists in Ladakh?
Mirza, I mean, the way India was divided, India was divided on the basis of religion. So it's like India will, the parties. So why you are thinking that Kashmir can be an individual state or can easily be included in Pakistan? I mean, do you think India, majority wise, India has the right to include Kashmir in their... why is that? Whenever I talk to any Indian, what should I say, who is responsible for anything, they actually claim that Kashmir is their integral part. From where is that coming from?
That comes from the fact that King of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, and Prime Minister at that time, Sheikh Abdullah, they signed this letter of accession with India. So officially, Jammu and Kashmir became part of India, and it did not opt for Pakistan.
For instance, if Nizam of Hyderabad opted to stay with Pakistan, would India allow it to do so? A king is a king. In this, People's Republic or a republic, that doesn't mean anything. A king is a person.
And that you are right. That is the position of Pakistan also, because Nizam wanted to go to Pakistan. India did not, or Patel at that time did not allow. There was a strong communist movement also who wanted to liberate Hyderabad and make it a communist state. And the Indian state was also against that. So they sent police in Hyderabad and made it a part of India.
Right.
You did not want a small part inside the country, which is part of Pakistan. And you have seen this problem with East Pakistan and West Pakistan. If the country is not together, it creates different other problems.
Yeah. What do you think of this statement that actually I actually do not know even, I mean, what Kashmiri people, I mean, what do they say? Kashmiri?
Kashmiri,
Yeah. I mean, what do they want? They want liberation. They want to stay with Pakistan. They want to stay with England. I mean, how do you know? I mean, the Kashmiri people actually wants to live with Pakistan. I mean, what is the evidence with you? I mean, the majority.
The thing is, there's no way of knowing because we are not getting any reaction from Kashmir. Kashmir is shut down.
Just now, but basically there had been elections there.
Yeah, so there are, I mean, it's a divided, politically divided. There are politicians in Kashmir who want to stay close to the Indian government. Like Mehbooba Mufti was a chief minister in a coalition with BJP until a year and a half ago. There are others who lean more towards Pakistan and their slogan is Kashmir Banega Pakistan, right? So there are various shades of politicians in Kashmir, but what Modi government has done now, they've all come together. They are now all on the same page. Whether they were pro-India or pro-independence or pro-Pakistan, they are pretty much more or less on the same page saying, we have been betrayed. The accession treaty that a colleague is talking about has been thrown in dustbin.
But didn't Pakistan see it coming because it was in the manifesto of BJP, it was in the parliamentary...
From the reaction I'm looking at in Pakistan, they seem stunned. They did not really expect that Modi will go to that extent.
Yeah, that is true. Even Indians did not think that they will think something out of the box.
Is it out of the box?
Yeah,
because
it is out of the...
It was in the manifesto since last 70s and 80s.
370, all right.
Yeah.
370 was executive decision.
Yeah.
It was not a decision of the Parliament of India. So it could be removed without Parliament also. So
through a presidential order.
Yeah, so President has ordered and it was removed. That is technical issue. The question is how we are taking care of Kashmir problem. No? And whether this whatever has happened, this is going to help in that process or not. And my point is, ultimately, the problem can only be solved when Pakistan and India come together and they think about peace between them, because it is not so easy. After 71, when Pakistan was dismembered and India helped in the creation of Bangladesh, it is not so easy. So they will have to forget lots of things about the past. They will come together, think about today, and stop using terrorism as both.
Okay, from Indian point of view, I want to go back to my original question. I mean, from the Indian point of view, what would happen if India give or arrange plebiscite for Kashmiri people? I mean, what will happen to India? I mean, just a general question.
For me, in any democracy, people should have sovereign right to decide whether they want to become independent and whether they want to remain in India or they want to go to Pakistan. The question is always whether you are having same level playing field or not. And in case of this, because Pakistan is claiming Jammu and Kashmir, so you will have to sit together and discuss it.
Okay, of course it is. I mean, if Pakistan consider Kashmir as a problem, does Pakistan has any idea how to solve it? I mean, what would be Pakistan's role to solving this problem? We can hear Imran Khan is saying that we will do this, we will do that, but I think these are just, high talks. And
you are right. The world community doesn't care about Kashmir, right? Because there's no vital interest. The only interest is to preventing a nuclear war between the two countries, right?
Now their interest perhaps also because of the terrorism. It has become a problem in the past 10-20 years.
So controlling Kashmir or diluting status of Kashmir, how do it play a role in controlling terrorism? How are they related?
I'll see from Indian point of view that central government was often intervening in Kashmir because of security situation. Jammu and Kashmir was not in a situation to take care of the problem of infiltration, what they called, from Pakistan, or in 89 when Afghanistan was solved a little bit, many fighters, jihadi fighters from Afghanistan moved to Kashmir, and they were not in a situation to tackle that because they were not trained to fight those forces. So Indian military had to intervene, and it increased. Always it went up because even Indian government, and we have seen in Afghanistan, we have seen in Iraq, even Americans could not control terrorist forces. So that is a problem. Not only for India, it is a problem for Pakistan also.
Yeah, what is Pakistan's idea of solving this problem?
Pakistan has been saying, officially, they've been saying that we want to sit down with India and talk. Modi government
India doesn't care.
Doesn't care and doesn't want to talk.
Then after that?
So when you have two sides, and one side is not interested in talking because it thinks it's bigger, it has might on its side, and it doesn't want to engage, then what do? My fear is, and I don't want to see this happening, my fear is more violence in the region, more violence in Kashmir.
Violence or what?
Violence, more violence along the line of control. And I'm not saying, I mean, there may even be Pakistani army deploying more troops along the line of control, but I'm also talking about irregular fighting. You know, more people trying to go across.
Pakistan would support that fight?
So, officially, Pakistan is saying, we don't want to do it. Right?
Okay.
And there's always this plausible deniability. We are not doing it. You know, there are Kashmiris, they're upset. They're going on their own, right? And that is the possibility. Because you look around the world, these movements, these struggles for self-determination are across the world, right? Even East Pakistan, which became Bangladesh, there was a freedom struggle against the Pakistani army, right? And that is how you liberated the country, right? Yes, there was external support from India. Yes, there was atrocities being committed at the time, right? Now, in Kashmir, if you do not sit down and talk about it, resolve it politically, it will descend into violence. And now, as I was saying earlier, there are generations of Kashmiris who are anti-India, who believe that India is an oppressive power, is an occupational power. And Pakistan doesn't really need to do much because the seed that was planted 70 years ago is now become a big tree.
Yeah, but Mr. Jilani, you are being an Asia and South Asia expert in particular for last 2 decades or more than 2 decades. But what you actually understand, it is the voice of many people. I mean, but why India, what do you think? India do not know it? India do not realize it? I mean, why India is still
India
doing
does,
it?
but Modi is on steroids, right? Hindu nationalism.
Not only Modi, I mean, Indian people are happy with this decision.
But we're talking about the government. This has been
This
is brought about by the government. So Modi will obviously capitalize on this in his vote bank. He will say, look, nobody could solve Kashmir. I have done it. Right?
Sir, really, do you really think it's about the vote bank or the only Modi supporters only? Because I didn't see any, I mean, yes, there are many, what should I say, many civilians, I mean, who actually wrote, who actually did their style of protest, but Indian people, I think they are with this decision.
There may be a big size of Indian voters who are with this decision. At the end of it, Modi claims the credit, right? That's why we're talking about Modi. And what I'm saying is, he does not care if there is a backlash. He thinks we will be able to crush any violence.
If any backlash in Kashmir, I mean, that would be backlash in a smaller region, but if the terrorism, what actually India says they are controlling it, it can be spread in all over India. So that is the right decision. I mean, putting,
if you believe
confining the terror.
If you believe that might is right, and forget about democracy, forget about asking people if they are going to change their status, then it's fine.
But personally, I think democracy is the right word. No? You will have to live the democracy. democracy means,
I mean,
democracy does not mean some structures only.
Yeah.
Democracy means participation of the people.
Yeah.
And that means also talking to each other and finding out solutions
So-
which is acceptable to both the sides.
So democracy for whom? I mean, India as a whole, or the democracy for
No, democracy
the
for Pakistan, democracy for India,
democracy,
and democracy for Jammu and Kashmir also.
I mean, democracy for Kashmir. I mean, Jammu and Kashmir. Will it happen in near future? What do you see? I mean, it's like it's 72 years now, and how many years should we count that the democracy will?
Democracy depends on the will of people. If people want democracy, it will happen. They
So-
will have to fight. Nobody gives you power, rights.
So Kashmir people either they do not want democracy, or they have to fight to earn it, right?
You should remember, it is not only Kashmir, it is a
Okay,
larger
Jammu,
part.
okay, Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let me conclude it in this way. I mean, if Kashmiri people want democracy, they have to. I mean, I don't know. They have to fight.
There
it
is
for?
democracy
They have
because
to fight it for?
structurally the assembly remains,
Structurally,
elections
I
would
mean,
be there.
structure
So
is-
that way democracy would be there.
Structure is rhetoric. I mean,
Yeah.
the democracy, the plebiscite, the way or the decision whether I can decide with whom or with what would be my status. It's not somewhere in, I don't know how far is Delhi from Kashmir. I mean, 1,000
Quite
miles
far.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 miles
Different
away from,
worlds.
1,000 miles
Yeah,
away from, I mean, arguing 5 and 6 people, and they are actually
Now,
taking.
Kashmir should not be a proxy fight between Pakistan and India.
Okay.
Pakistan and India should solve their problem because the issue of Bombay
Yeah.
killings.
Yeah.
No? People coming from Pakistan, and so you will have to take these things seriously
Yeah.
and fight such menace of terrorism together.
Okay.
India and Pakistan should be sitting together. Their structures are similar. They should be talking and fighting. People being killed.
But
whether-
you said they should be talking, but India is not ready to talk. India do not want
Yeah,
to
India,
talk.
of course, India wants to talk. Modi went to meet Nawaz Sharif.
Yeah.
The proper conditions should be there to talk. You
Yeah,
can't talk.
I want to conclude with you, Mr. Jilani, that yes, Mr. Modi actually went to Pakistan to talk with Mr. Sharif, but whenever any talks start between India and Pakistan, anything or something would happen. Anything or something, anything or must be. I mean, anything happens there. Why is that? I mean,
It's,
not a very pleasant thing. I mean, something we do not want to, or
It's very unfortunate because in Pakistan, elected leaders have tried time and again to engage India into dialogue. And every time we thought we were at a breakthrough, something went wrong militarily, or
Yeah.
militants were active in India or parts of India. And we went back to square one. Likewise, there were times when we thought there is good momentum on both sides, and we thought we are getting close to resolving Kashmir. There was internal disagreement in India, and there was lack of progress. I'm talking about Agra and Musharraf and Vajpayee. So, as we are saying, in both the countries, there has to be enough momentum and enough critical mass for countries to realize that peace is the only way forward. You keep playing these games, you keep finger pointing, you keep blaming each other, and meanwhile, who's paying the price? Kashmiris are definitely paying the price, but the region is paying the price because
Yes.
you're investing so much into
Yes.
weapons and military and not on education and health.
And this,
Yeah.
both sides will have to realize that
Yeah.
and come together also on certain important structures. If you are just playing the games, as he said, then you can't come out of this blame game.
Thank you so much. I mean, Mr. Mohesh Jha, Mr. Shazib Jilani with us. অ্যান্ড আপনারা এতক্ষণ দেখছিলেন নিশ্চয়ই, আমরা এখানেই আজকের আলোচনা শেষ করছি এবং আমরা এই ধরনের আলোচনা আরও চালু রাখবো। আবারও আপনাদের ধন্যবাদ জানাতে চাই মিস্টার জিলানি, মিস্টার মহেশ শাহ, আপনাদের অনেক ধন্যবাদ।